Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 33. Today, we will expand the living space in Mikhailovia, finalize the power and commuter infrastructure around the new construction yard, and do roadworks. Lots, and lots, of roadworks. Ever since I noticed that the road between Kirkimov and the southern border crossing is still gravel, I made it my mission to do something about it. So quite a bit of today's episode will be dedicated to that endeavor. Apart from those things, we will see the first helicopter take off from the new construction zone. Only to deliver vehicles though, we will not reach the point where the different storages are ready to go yet. We will also build a second rail distribution office, since the first one is already close to its limits. And we will add an extra storage tank to the new bitumen drop-off station, and use it as a fuel depot for the local area. First, I'll just remove the unnecessary track segment from the warehouse branch. The crossing will allow full access, plus it will look better without it. Here, I just double-checked my work from the last episode. It's fine, but with all the mistakes I made at the end of it, I wanted to be sure. Next up, I really wanted to redesign this junction, to make it look a bit more symmetrical I guess. I need to trim back these tracks a little so the curve will be more gentle in the end. So, instead of the 3 upper tracks branching off from the 2 bottom lanes, I'll make them spread out from the middle. First, the 2 main line tracks will merge into the middle branch. Then, the remaining 4 will simply connect up, more smoothly than before. This is where I ran into a bit of trouble. The near snapping option was interfering with this side. I'll soon realize what the cause was, disable it with the F4 key, and it will come together perfectly. Just like that. Now, we only need a crossing, so all branches can access both lanes of the main line, and it's done. Connect it back up to the rest of the network, and it's ready for construction. Next, we need power in this area. A lot of things won't work without it. I just need to make sure that the substation can reach everything. Also, we need workers for the 2 production facilities in the complex, so a bus stop is essential. A train station would be overkill, so road transport is the best option here. As for where to get the power from, I decided to use a dedicated transformer. The one for Mikhailovia is too far away, so this is the most sensible option. We just need to find a place to split it off from the current power lines, and this was the most logical place. Since this was the line supplying Mikhailovia with electricity, we need to be fast with this project. I'll go around and disable CO assignments around the Republic to bump it up the queue. Since we won't be able to build these monuments, we can get rid of them. I'll just place a bit of pavement over the area, and rely on the trees to act as decoration. People seem to have a hard time finding sport opportunities. Building a gymnasium should help with that. Of course, the main reason for it is the lack of power in the area. Still, it won't hurt. It's just a bit tricky to find the perfect place for it. The most convenient plots of land are all sloped, so this will have to do. While the power lines are being built, we can take advantage of this piece of road we left open in Brooklyn and Grad. It's perfectly situated to act as a second road connection for Mikhailovia. Plus it will shorten the meat delivery route for the city. That's got to count for something. That extra name tag can be removed once the construction is finished. Okay, power is almost back on. There. All good. Now the old gravel road. The first thing will have to be this small piece of dirt road we still haven't upgraded all these years. I'll first place the usual side road, so traffic can keep flowing, even if slowly. This will disrupt a lot of things, but it has to be done. And since the path is blocked now anyways, might as well start working on the rest of it. That small piece should be on the top of the list of CO assignments. While that's going on, we can keep finalizing things for the heli CO. I'll build a high voltage switch. Instead of building one when I need it, I'll just do it now. At this point, population growth is about to grind to a halt. To prepare for the baby boom in the spring, I'll start construction on some new houses. First has to be the road infrastructure around them. As usual, I am spoiled for choice. Before I could place it, I was distracted by the first segment of the new road being done. Unfortunately, winter will put a pretty big obstacle in the way of this project, so we won't see tremendous progress while under snow. A real shame, trucks will have to drive on the dirt paths, which is far, very very far from ideal. Continuing construction in other parts will not be helping either. But you know, hindsight's 20/20, and all that. Okay, the power plant is really struggling to keep its surroundings supplied with electricity. The only way to alleviate this issue is to build substations in Kirkomov. Unfortunately, all the medium voltage connections are already occupied. I will need to think of a solution in the next episode. Okay, no more distractions. This last plot of land is a bit small. I think we can put a small apartment block next to the kindergarten, and use the remaining space for a monument. These new homes will not be enough. Maybe one more extra large panel block will do the trick. I'm trying to give these houses a bit more breathing room, not cram them together too tightly like in Mutograd. As usual, I'm mainly using the footpath connections for access. The road connections will be done with these cosmetic ground textures. Well, since the helicopter office is done, might as well buy them now. They are still useful for moving certain construction machinery around, even if the resources themselves aren't ready for pickup just yet. I decided to buy 2 passenger and 3 cargo helicopters. We will of course need to build a heliport in Mikhailovia, but that's for a later episode. I wanted to see if I can increase the commuter frequency to Kirchhoff, but it already has 4 trains on the line. To increase the output of the refinery, the best option I have at this point is to set up workplace priorities in the arrival station. First, I'll need to add every single workplace it can reach, and then add priority to the refinery. That should sort out our fuel problems for a bit longer. And here we had what would appear to be a crash cut. I'll be honest. I made a couple pretty major errors a couple days from this autosave, and the only real option was to save scum. It all happened here. I decided to use this place for the new rail distribution office. Sadly, the ground got messed up around it, and now it was clipping through the tracks. A viewer suggested to use signals and/or waypoints to fix it. This method is very situational. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Thankfully, this time it did. Unfortunately, it introduced some bumps into the previously smooth rails. We will see them in action later in the episode, but from afar, it's not really noticeable. Anyways, the big error that prompted me to save scum was the heating pipes under the building. The first time I placed it, I didn't like that ground clipping issue. I demolished it, and for some reason that caused the pipes below to start ever so slightly sticking out. This resulted in collision issues, which I didn't know were caused by the pipes. I saw the red markers on the rail DO's footprint, and used the delete tool on it. Only to discover that it was the heating pipe. Cutting it in the middle of winter was a death sentence for Mikhailovia. That's why I decided to just try again. Spreading our construction infrastructure all over the place doesn't help to speed things up around here. Finishing this whole road will be the end point for this episode, so if you look at the remaining time, you can imagine how much work it will take. Since we increased the refinery workforce, fuel production seemed to be picking up again. Soon, we will be back to normal, once all the remaining deliveries are dealt with. Pay attention here, how the tracks go a bit bumpy in front of the rail DO. That's from the waypoint trick I used to remove the dirt. Only really noticeable when we are this close to the train. So I'm not all that bothered about it. I will end up halting construction for a lot of things to speed up the border road. In hindsight, I should have done it earlier. Hey, look! The first construction helicopter is off. At this point, all they can do is move the machinery around, but that's more than nothing. Instead of lumping it together with the Lukovo COs, I decided to give it its own action group in the construction assign tool. I was hoping the track layers would only get around to building the other side of the rail DO once it's all done. But one side is still reachable, so this overachieving track layer got itself stuck as a result. For now, I'll pause construction on these 2 lanes. We can get back to them later. Remember how I wanted to set up fuel outposts further away from the Kirkomov refinery? Hopefully, this will be the first of many. We have a very convenient liquid train station for dropping off fuel, which will be stored in this storage tank. Finding the perfect position is a bit tricky, but I'll get there. That takes care of the delivery and storage. We just need to place a small distribution office, and it's ready to be built. I hope the substation can reach it, but even if it can't, we have a whole transformer nearby with a lot of connections open. Again, spreading our COs too thin isn't the best idea during winter. Plus, with the ridiculous slowdown around the quarries are absolutely hammering our gravel production right now. I just noticed that despite winter, we are still getting a slow increase in population. Very nice to see. The first stage of rail construction is about to be finished here. After that, we just need to electrify it, and that part is done. Okay, just one small segment left. Here, I just wanted to speed up construction for the high voltage switch, so I told all available COs to get on it. Except the old border one. That's still only for emergencies. There. Time to electrify what we built. The spotty worker deliveries to the rail CO strikes again. Can't wait for the population in Mikhailovia rise high enough that we can use them to work in Ramesov. That will help things quite a bit. Unfortunately, they arrived too late, and the track layer already gave up, and is heading home. Another road segment is done. We can remove some of the dirt connections. Here, I take the first steps towards speeding up the important projects by pausing some of the less important roadworks. I'll need to do more, but got to start somewhere. Now that's the kind of speeds I like to see on my track layers. Finally, spring is here. If nothing else, it should speed things up on these dirt roads. I really wanted to get things done. To prepare for the rest of the paving works, I added some more dirt connections. Ultimately, I just went with the Band-Aid method, and designated everything to be upgraded. I'll add as many dirt roads as I can, and let things sort themselves out. With this, we only need to finish building 2 segments at the bus stop, and most of the things should be accessible again. Not everything, but that will happen with time. I'll see a couple trucks rerouted from around Mikhailovia before I get wise, and just pause everything except the roads. We will even need to resort to using the old border CO before this is all over. Looking at the empty apartments, we seem to be doing really good on increasing our population. Only a couple dozen left in Mikhailovia, and only a handful in Nemutograd. Here, I finally gave up on doing everything at once, and started to pause everything unimportant. I am at the point where I just pause and unpause constructions, so trucks that are too far away would just teleport home. I carefully go around the new construction zone, and pause everything, except the rails. Okay, that should be it. From this point on, It's all hands on deck for the road building. Finally, some decent numbers on this bus. Having a fully staffed construction site really speeds things up. Okay. From now on, we can pretty much assign all the remaining segments for construction. At this point, it's just a waiting game. I could have freed most of the confused trucks if I added some extra dirt connections, but at this point, it was so close to completion that I didn't bother. I'll even tell the helicopters to bring in some machinery if they can. They don't seem too eager, but it was worth a try. There. Trucks are rolling again. We saved ourselves a couple clicks by waiting. This is where the gravel shortage hit the asphalt production. Time to call in the emergency CO. It takes a bit of time for it to take over from the current assignments, but it will wake up eventually. While we wait, let's take a look at our imports from the last year. Our biggest expenses come from electronics. Making all the construction materials at home really help keep costs down. At least we know what we need to concentrate on next. Okay, the rails are all done. We can finally place the signals. At least that part is ready to go. As for the roads, only one segment remains. We can do wonders if we only concentrate on one thing, and not spread our resources too thin. We can remove the remaining dirt connections. Hey, now the helicopters decide to chip in. Okay, didn't notice this one. This is the last segment we need to finish. At long last. It's all done. This will help speed up the chemical and grain imports for the fabric factories, as well as give the quarry dumpers a pretty noticeable boost. Time to continue building the rest of our constructions. I accidentally unpaused the new rail those two remaining connections too. One of the track layers will get stuck again shortly. Here, I wanted to test if we have enough workers in Mikhailovia to staff all the buildings without setting up priorities. Spoilers. We don't. This little experiment will cause a couple people missing their groceries. And this is why. Without telling people to spread themselves out between the different buildings, only a couple of them decided to work in the shop. There is a massive queue outside, and people cannot get food. Hopefully these new houses will alleviate this issue. Okay, the queue is shrinking. We'll be back to normal in no time. It seems we have some power issues. This new housing block has no electricity, so a new substation is needed. Again, very hard to find a place for it where it won't stick out like a sore thumb. When buildings are packed closer together, it's easier to hide them in small holes. When they are spread apart, they are more noticeable. Nope. I'd like to have my connections be done in one continuous segment. None of this nonsense. That's better. Citizen needs are normalizing again. The biggest issues are again religion and alcohol. To deal with culture, I'll add another building that will help with it. Sure, this art gallery will be perfect for the job. Now, about the next episode. One of the things I'll need to check is if I can reroute the current Ramosov commuter line to Mikhailovia. Using workers from there will help alleviate the burden on the Old Town citizens. Also, we have a couple storage facilities ready to go in the new construction yard, so we can start using the new rail depot to move materials there. Even if we can only move some of the materials, it's still a big boost to our expansion capabilities. I would also like to sort out the power issues around Kirkomov. It seems the power plant also has a maximum throughput it can use to supply its immediate surroundings, so adding a substation or two to help should fix the brownouts we have there. It would be also advisable to start building a heliport in Mikhailovia. We need a source of workers for the helicopters to pick up. Apart from those, I think it's time we started thinking about an electronics factory. I will do the usual top-down approach, and start with the end product, and slowly eliminate the imports as we expand. Anyways, I hope you liked the video. If you did, dropping a like and subscribing to the channel just might motivate me to make more. Until then, see you later.